Let me assert my firm belief that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
No! Oh no!
Here I am, Rezy.
X can mean a lot of things. X can mark a spot on a map or telling you not to go somewhere. Or it could mean love and hugs. But also, X is the Roman numeral for the number 10. And that is what tonight's episode of Stuff That Scared Me as a Child is. Yeah, 10 episodes, or the second episode of Season 2. Though I'm not doing episode X by myself, because X can also mean crossover. So today I'll be joined by my good friends ResyisMezy, Super Berserker, and his girlfriend, who's it, Jamie, Jackie? Super Berserker's girlfriend, Jackie. We'll each discuss our own topic, but something else I want to discuss is the fact y'all should join my Discord server. I just recently hit 100 members, so within this week or two, I'll start doing events like giveaways, art competitions, and maybe an event where you could get your own part in a future Stuff That Scared Me as a Child video. So go join, link is in the description. Okay, now with that out the way, turn down the lights, turn up your volume, and grab your favorite food, drink, and snack and get comfortable for more Stuff That Scared Me as a Child. Llama Arts is an animation YouTuber most well known for their Mr. Nightmare animated videos they made a couple years ago. I remember watching Mr. Nightmare as a kid and really loving his videos and how I got to imagine how the stories looked for myself. And when I found out about Llama Arts, I immediately fell in love with the channel because they did animated videos with these Mr. Nightmare stories. Now, I do actually talk about Mr. Nightmare in Season 1, Volume 1 of this series, but that episode kinda sucks since it was only like my third video. But back to Llama Arts. These animations were pretty well made for a solo animator and they still hold up even after... Wait, does that say 8 years ago? Damn, I'm getting old. But this specific video here, the 2015 compilation, was what scared me the most, with its stories and creepy ass characters in them. I'll go over a few that scared me, such as the first story where our main guy gets a Craigslist deal for a car, but when he goes to the house, he's met with no response. But when he looks through the window, he sees someone at the back door. But when he goes around back to find him, turns out the figure was a taxidermied human. And holy crap, this art still freaks me out. It might be the uncanny way the characters are drawn, but man did this creep me out as a kid. Next one was just as creepy, was the figure story, where our main guy goes on the deep web and clicks a link, where he watches a live video with some creepy shadow figure. And after a bunch of shenanigans where the figure tries talking to him and looking through his camera and doing a bunch of weird shit to his computer, he ends up taking apart his computer and putting it away. That part didn't scare me. It was the image of the figure under the bed that scared me half to death. I always hated how I could never see under my bed because, you know, what if there was some monster or burglar down there? Or maybe even a plug to my Discord server and YouTube memberships! Anyways, the next story that scared me was the one where it was about someone who was alone in an office and someone across the office turned on a computer while the entire room was dark. And so our main guy decides it was smart enough to yell, "Hey, anyone there?" And then that computer turns off and our main guy decides to be smart for once and try leaving. But that is until he sees someone hiding behind a plant and then he goes downstairs. Until he hears footsteps after him. So he runs off and gets to the lobby and runs out the building. Now, I'm really summarizing these stories. I do highly recommend you listen to the stories yourself and support Llama Arts. I'll link each of these in the description or comments if I forget. Now, why did these scare me? Likely because of the uncanny faces and animations. I did a rewatch of these animations for this video and I gotta admit, these still do somewhat hold up and are pretty good for someone who was doing it solo. I do highly recommend you go support Llama Arts because their newer animations are actually seriously good. So go subscribe to them. Well, I think that's going to be all for my part of the video. Now let's give this next part to my good friend, Resi.
Alright, okay, buckle up Beat Banger Legends because diving headfirst into a rabbit hole so deep, even Alice would say, no, I'm good. Okay, today we're discussing Petscop. Everyone knows Petscop, you know, that really scary game that MatPat made like 3 theories on? It was great, okay? It's a web series, disguised as a retro game. But trust me, it is way more twisted than trying to untangle your headphones, okay? So just trust me, it's really good. We're talking layers upon layers of mystery, unhidden messages, hidden messages, and just creepy shit. Like really creepy shit. But yeah, okay, let's just get into it. Okay, Petscop presents itself as a mysterious, unfinished PlayStation game from, I think, 1997. On the surface, it just looks like a really boring, retro gaming genre, like blocky graphics, MIDI, music. But this is no ordinary game. It is a digital Pandora just waiting to be opened. The initial video just showcased standard gameplay of what you'd expect the game to be. But after the first episode, things start to get pretty fucking weird. The series quickly diverges from typical gaming content, introducing, you know, disturbing elements such as hidden levels, cryptic messages, and a narrative that hints at some pretty serious shit. Like, we're talking child abuse, kidnapping, maybe even some, well, I can't say it on YouTube, but that. It's not just about beating levels anymore, it's about uncovering a really, really messed up truth. What made this game so scary? I watched this game. This whole thing came out when I was a child, which obviously Jake played the really cool thing where it shows the title. You know, yeah. Okay, thanks, Jake. Yeah, you know what made it so scary is how familiar it felt. Because if you grew up around the time, you'd be used to playing PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2 games. And obviously, because the theme is the same as that, it creates this really unsettling tone. This familiarity is really, really, really useful in getting the viewers to understand how it works. So, quite clever. But it's also like finding a spider in this area. So, take that how you will. So, what's the deal? You know, whatever it is, whatever kind of enigma it may be, you know, it's just scary. It's really, really scary. I do recommend you go watch the whole series. You know, I think it's really good. Or just watch a MatPat video. You know, that'll get you through it quite quick. But if you want an authentic review on it, I recommend watching this series. It's quite long though, so have fun watching it. But don't say I didn't warn you, because I'm dreaming of the Petscop symbols in your sleep. Because remember, after all, in the world of Petscop, you don't end the game. The game ends you.
When I was about 8 or 9, I used to get terrified of SCP-072, or also known as the foot of the bed. How I found out about it was through those Minecraft SCP Foundation videos. And if you don't know what SCP-072 is, it's basically described as a shadowy, translucent hand that's nearly 1 meter in length, with long, thin fingers and really sharp nails. It basically appears whenever you fall asleep and have at least one of your feet exposed to the open air or dangling off the bed. At which point 072 will appear from under your bed and tap your foot until you're awake. When you do wake up, you soon come to realize that you're in a state of sleep paralysis and you cannot move or speak. You can only listen and observe as SCP-072 begins to slowly rip small amounts of flesh from your exposed foot, until it eventually stops at your ankle. This did terrify me because I always slept with my feet out in the air or like dangling off the bed, and it scared me so much to the point I had to ask my mom to like remove my bed frame, and I basically slept with my mattress on the floor for like months. And I also made sure that I was wearing socks to bed every night, and just for extra protection, I covered my feet with a blanket from then on. But I am still terrified of sleep paralysis, so
Yo, what's up guys, Super Berserker here. Before I start my traumatic story that scared me as a kid, I just wanted to say thank you once again, Jake the Crabinator, for inviting me into your video. But anyways, let's begin. Growing up, I was always terrified of dolls, especially haunted or deranged serial killers like Chucky or Annabelle or Robert the Doll, but I'm not going to be talking about those dolls. No, I'm going to be talking about the ventriloquist Billy the Puppet from Dead Silence 2007. And no, not from Jigsaw Billy, although he did scare me too. But we are talking about that Billy, not the other one. Now, this movie wasn't reviewed that well in theaters, but dang, how much this movie scared me as a kid. I remember when my dad got home from Blockbuster and he rented the movie out. And yeah, I'm old, but this time I was like 6 or 7, I want to say, and my curiosity got the better of me. And I started watching a little of this movie without my dad knowing, and oh my goodness, I had to rewatch this movie just for this video because I barely remember anything. And dang, now I know why little me was so traumatized, even though this doll barely moved in the movie. So the main character Jamie goes to his graveyard to bury Billy the Puppet. While he's digging his grave, Billy does something odd with his mouth, pause, which makes Jamie feel odd of his surroundings. But nonetheless, he grabs Billy and throws him in the casket. After he places him in the casket, Billy turns his head looking at Jamie, giving us a jump scare, which as a kid, I won't lie, that got me. Little me got scared so much I was thinking Goosebumps Slappy the doll was the same doll in Dead Silence, which that's another story to tell. But going back to the topic, now I'm not going to be talking about a summary of what happens in the movie, but a scene that scared me a lot as a kid. Spoiler alert, if anyone is interested watching this movie, I highly recommend it. It's really good in my opinion. So Jamie closes the casket and goes back to his car. Once he gets inside of his car, he started to notice a shadow lurking around his car, which made him feel tense up. And once he looks at his driver's door window, he sees Billy behind his door and goes under his car, which makes Jamie question himself, what the hell happened? And as a kid, I would too, because this scene specifically haunted me as a kid, and I've never liked puppets or ventriloquists after watching this scene. Now, there's more scary scenes that happens in this movie, but like I said, I won't be talking about it, and I highly recommend to go watch this movie. How this ventriloquist affected me a lot was every time I went to a store or flea market and I would see a creepy doll or ventriloquist, it would remind me of Billy, and I've never went near it. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much again, Jake the Crabinator, for inviting me to your video.
Alright, I'll take it from here. If you made it this far, then consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to my channel to keep me in the algorithm. And join my Discord server as well as subscribing to both ResyisMezy and Super Berserker. And finally, I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are. Bye!